Nate, we've been waiting this whole entire weekend to get to this story. I think this story is going to have a lot of mixed results on YouTube, but you know what? Let's get to it anyway. So LeBron James violated the COVID protocol, which is part of the health and safety protocol of the NBA, by going to a promotional event for a tequila brand. There was a photo of him, Drake, and Michael B. Jordan at that event. They took a picture outside. And what's very interesting is in order to attend this event, the guest had to produce proof of a vaccination or a recent negative COVID test. So I found that very, very interesting. And LeBron James did not say whether or not he got the COVID-19 vaccination. And there was a quote by the league spokesman or one of the league spokesmen. He said, and I quote, "It's a violation of the agreed upon protocols. And as we have in other comparable instances around the league, it has been addressed with the team." So basically, according to the protocol, players who fail to comply with the rules are subjected to warnings, fines, or suspensions. Players who repeatedly break the rules could be subjected to more severe discipline. Obviously, we know what's going on right now in the playoffs regarding the Lakers and LeBron James. They're going up against the Phoenix Suns. I believe they lost the first game. Am I correct?
90-99 yesterday. They
Okay,
lost
so
that
they
game.
lost the first game of that series. But I mean, going before that, like let's rewind a little bit. When they were in the play, and it was no shock that like Michael B. Jordan and Drake were in the crowd. Now knowing that they had to go to this event, so they probably just decided to go to the game anyway. But yeah, Nate, I kind of want to start off with this first. And usually with stories, I pass on to you, but I kind of want to start off with this first, okay? But before I do, the source for this article is Dave McMenamin, ESPN staff writer. So let me start off with this first. This is nothing on against LeBron James, okay? I don't want people to think I'm going to be a LeBron James hater for what I said, but I'm going to be real with you. Most likely, I wanted to see a fine. Okay, most likely I wanted to see a fine. And the reason why is because this is tough. Again, they took an outdoor photo, so I'm not sure if this event was outdoor. I remember when we talked about like James Harden and we talked about like Kyrie Irving, we talked about Kevin Porter. I remember talking about these guys, right? And a lot of the events that they were going to, they were inside, it was a packed crowd and everything like that. We get that. And obviously because of COVID, when COVID first began, you've seen like a lot of people move their businesses to outside, like for example, as restaurants. You remember how they would serve people outside because there's more space, obviously, because you are outside. That's like common sense. I'm not sure if this event was outside or not, but regardless or not, the NBA, the league has admitted, a league spokesman told us and has admitted that it was in violation of the protocol. Whether it was outside or not, that don't matter. So here's what I don't understand. You're gonna find a guy like James Harden. You're gonna find a guy like Kyrie Irving. Okay, you're gonna find people like Kevin Porter Jr. But because this is LeBron James, you're not gonna do it. See, that's not fair. It's just not fair. I get it. It's LeBron James. We get he is the king. He is the basically the face of the NBA. We get that. But I think he should still be fine, Nate. And this is nothing against LeBron James. LeBron James is a great, great, once in a generation. Hell, we maybe once in a lifetime player. We'll never see somebody like LeBron James again. But that doesn't matter. When you violate the protocol, there has to be a punishment. And the fact that this is LeBron James, and we don't even know if he got vaccinated or not, because he didn't tell us whether or not he got vaccinated. That's his choice, not ours. But regardless, was he negative? Most likely, because as I read, you had to show a negative test or be vaccinated in order to go. But still, regardless, it's unfair to punish other guys for doing this stuff and not LeBron James. If this event was outside, again, obviously the effect might be less or whatever because it's in a less crowded place. Because these other ones they were in clubs with like hundreds of people inside the club or whatever. You get what I'm saying? So obviously it was packed. Kyrie Irving, I believe he was at. I don't know if it was Kyrie Irving or James Harden. Maybe you remember, Nate. Was at a birthday party. I think it might have been
Yeah,
Kyrie.
that was Kyrie Irving, and James Harden, I think, went to a club.
Right. All right. So James Harden went to a club. Kyrie Irving went to a birthday party. I think Kevin Porter went to a club as well. And again,
Yes,
we
that
went off
was
on them. And
yeah.
again, LeBron James. We talked about him. We used him as a model. Like he's doing the right things. This time he did not do the right thing. I get it. All right. Michael B. Jordan's there. Great. We know how perfect that man is. All right. Let's not say anything less. Drake. Okay, we get it. Okay. Drake's probably one of the best rappers out there right now. Okay. That does not give you the right to go to this event when you know you can't go to this event. Okay, now now whether or not people agree or don't agree with the protocol, agree or don't agree with us, regardless, the NBA has agreed that he broke protocol, but because this is LeBron James, nothing happens. So here's the thing. Let me ask something, Nate. Kyrie Irving, right? James Harden, Kevin Porter. Okay, let's go with them first. I believe all three of them did it once, right?
Kyrie Irving got fined twice. I know that. And then
Right, but
James Harden did it once.
was it twice for violating COVID?
Oh no. Once it was violating for COVID. My
Okay,
bad.
so
The other one was for the media.
of COVID, so from COVID, like violations of the COVID protocol, all three of those guys only got it once, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, according to the NBA, if you do it multiple times, you're going to get more severe discipline, as I read, correct? So let me get this straight. Let me just get this straight. They violate the protocol, they get fined. LeBron James violates it, he don't get fined. So if LeBron James does it again, right? I'm not sure if he's gonna, most likely not, but who knows? If LeBron James does it again, does LeBron James get fined? Let's suppose he does, okay? Let's just suppose he gets fined. I guarantee you, if James Harden and Kyrie Irving do it again, they're gonna get suspended. Do you see the problem here?
Yep.
It's like LeBron James' discipline is one step back from everybody else's because he's LeBron James. You have worked entirely hard to get to the NBA. You've worked entirely hard to become the face of the NBA. Outside the NBA, you have done an amazing, amazing job, okay, with becoming a role model for people. But I'm going to be real, Nate. He deserved to be fined. Okay, it's as simple as that. And I remember he did release a quote. And okay, here it is right here. It is in the article. I'm gonna read this quote for you right now, Nate. Okay. He said, and I quote, this is LeBron James, anything I do off the floor is predicated to my family for the majority, for 99.9% of that. So it's all about health and safety of my family. And that's what it came down to. Me being available to my teammates on the floor is me taking care of my body, me doing everything I can do to make sure I'm available both mentally, physically, and spiritually as well. But anything of that nature, that's all family talk. So I don't get it, Nate. So maybe I don't know what this tequila promotional brand was. I don't know how it's going to help his family. Maybe he knows, he might have to put more information or enlighten us on how this helps his family even more. I'm not sure. All I know is, okay, this is wrong. This is wrong, okay? It's wrong from LeBron James. Again, you know the protocol, yet you broke it. Right there. That's a shame, okay? It is. You are the role model, okay? You in the NBA have worked tirelessly during this pandemic to talk about like the safety regarding it. You remember the commercials, Nate, with all the NBA players telling you to wear your mask and they're putting it on. Okay, fine. I'm not saying LeBron James wasn't being safe. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this, okay? There's certain rules you have to follow them, whether you like them or not. LeBron James has talked about many times how he doesn't like certain things done with the NBA recently. Last year was the bubble. He didn't like the bubble. He didn't want to. This year with the All-Star game, he didn't want to have an All-Star game. This year with the play-in, he didn't care for the play-in. He's talked about it numerous times about certain things he does not like. Okay, maybe the protocol is one of them, but you cannot break it. Doesn't mean you're LeBron James. Doesn't mean you're higher above everybody else regarding discipline than everybody else. Okay, it's as simple as that. And honestly, this is wrong from the NBA. They should have fined him. I'm not saying suspended. I'm not saying suspend him because Kyrie Irving was fine, James Harden was fine, Kevin Porter was fine. Okay, so fine him. That's it. Okay, the dude's making millions and millions of dollars, Nate. I think this year for 2021, the Forbes had him, I think, as like the fifth richest athlete this year. So he is paid. Find this guy. What were you giving? Find him. At least if it was 25K, I can understand it. But you guys are giving me no case for why you didn't find him. It's as simple as that. It's ridiculous, Nate. It really is. Honestly, I'm gonna say this again. LeBron James should have known better not to go to this event. Okay, hopefully he learns from this like everybody else does. You know what I'm saying? It's like all the other guys did. Hopefully he learns from this and doesn't do this again. But shame on the NBA for not finding him. We're gonna give him a warning when James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Porter do something and they get fined for it. Why? Because they were inside. Now, again, I know the protocol has said something about when we talked about it, said like inside couldn't have more than 12 people. And that, again, we don't know how many people were there, Nate. That's one. Okay. Maybe because he was outside, they didn't give him the fine. Who knows? But all I know is the NBA admitted that he was in violation of the protocol and he didn't get fined. Okay. I think at least a small fine would have been something, you know? But again, they didn't do that with LeBron James. Even though he violated the protocol, all he got was a warning. I don't know exactly what it was that gave him a warning, that gave him just a warning compared to the other ones. Again, I'm not quite sure. All I know is the photo was taken outdoors. I'm not sure if this event happened indoors or outdoors. Who knows? There's a lot of questions that I have about this, Nate. Um, so yeah, I don't know really what else to say about this, Nate. I really don't. Um, so basically, like there's not a lot of information basically regarding this event, regarding him being vaccinated. And when and a reporter, they kind of tried following up by asking him more questions directed about receiving a vaccination, and he replied. They followed him up, and he replied, "It's not a big deal," chuckling briefly about giving his answer, and he said, "That's a conversation my family and I will have. I'll keep that to a private thing." Obviously, LeBron James doesn't want everybody knowing his business, which is reasonable. You're basically a celebrity, let alone, you know what I'm saying, not just a basketball player. But honestly, Nate, I don't know what to think about this. I think he should have been fined. Okay, you knew that he violated the protocol. Regardless of whether it was inside or how many people were there. I think he should have been fined. That's my opinion. You might have something different. Everybody else might have a different opinion. Who knows? But I think he should have been at least. I think he should have at least got a small fine. But regardless, I don't have any ill wishes towards LeBron James. I wish him and the Los Angeles Lakers the best of luck in the playoff series. Hopefully, he learned from this mistake and he moves forward, and this doesn't happen again. And yeah, that's really all I have to say about it. I'll pass it on to you, Nate.
Yeah, you basically said mostly everything. Basically, honestly, yeah, you're right. He should have gotten fined. And you know what? I don't give a damn where it was. I don't care if it was outside, inside. I don't care how many people were there. I really don't. The fact is that you violated the protocol. All right. I don't care if you was outside.
I agree.
I don't care if he was inside. I don't care if he was in the car. I don't care where he was. I care more about the fact that he violated the protocol.
I agree. But that's the only thing that's the only thing I could point to as to why they didn't find him, Nate, is because he was either outside or there weren't 12 people at the event. I don't know. That's the only thing I could point to for a reason why they didn't give him a fine. If it has nothing to do with that, I have no clue why he didn't get fined.
And that's the problem. Is like you admit that he violated these protocols, but you're not going to find him. Are you serious? Where have I seen this before? Oh, I've seen this biasness, favoritism. You can point. And look, I'm not shading down anything on LeBron James, like Mario said. I'm not taking anything away from LeBron James. But here's my problem with this. Okay, first of all, it shows obviously shame on the NBA, like you said. All right, it shows an absolute level of biasness. You know what I mean? And that's something that should not be tolerated for any league. You know what I mean? Like, many leagues, with their popular players, they do something, especially, leagues like the NFL and the MLB, they do some bad things like drugs, whatever. They do what's necessary. They suspend them. They're not biased about that. Obviously drugs is a different story, but yeah, you get my point. They do what they have to do. Well, because you're LeBron James, like, really? Like, I'm sorry, but that's just a whole nother level of bias. And you're right. It's not fair. I don't care. I don't care how high up on top of the world you are. I don't care how big of a influencer you are in society. I don't care if you're a role model. I do, because I do look up to LeBron James in a lot of aspects. But if you break the rules, you break the rules. You gotta get your punishment. I don't care how big of I don't care how big of a public figure you are. I really don't. You break the rules, you need to pay the consequences. That's just that. You know what I mean? I don't care where you did it. I don't care how you did it. The fact is that you did it, and that's that. You know what I mean? So, and you really look at it, Mario, with this, like you said, he's been in many, many advertisements with the NBA being to put the mask on. He's been in many of these political conversations and all that stuff. And a lot of people, like I said, look up to him. But what he just did, not only is going to prove the plan to people that do go against him, it compromises everything. It basically almost compromises everything he's ever done in this last year, pretty much. With with speaking out about the COVID thing. Oh, wear your mask. Stand 6 feet apart. He's done a lot with the rate. The social justice thing, but the social justice thing has nothing to do with it.
Right. Well, obviously, like the 6 feet apart thing, that didn't happen because he took a picture with them. Obviously, they're not 6 feet apart.
Obviously, yeah.
Picture. But like, who knows? Maybe he was wearing his mask. I have no clue, Nate. I really don't.
I don't know. I've never seen the picture. So
but you're right. It does compromise.
Right. Absolutely. So like that basically compromises everything he's like, worked so hard to tell these people, and going back to the whole vaccination thing, like, yeah, honestly, like, I don't know why reporters are up his ass about that. It's like let the guy be. Like I got my vaccine. Like I did it not because of the media and like they what do you call it? They force everybody to do this or that, or like they influence people to do this and that. But you and I go to school, and while my school doesn't require the vaccine, I felt like that at some point or another that will become a requirement. So I figured I'd plan ahead of time and get the vaccine in case if that's something they change their mind on, So that's why I did it. I did it because I want to be prepared for what could happen in the future. If you don't want to get the vaccine, that's fine. I know some people have health issues, and this technically isn't this vaccine, believe it or not. And I actually just found out about it, Mario. It's not FDA approved. So it's still in like the testing stages, I assume. So that's another reason why a lot of people don't want it. It's not FDA approved. And when it is, I bet you most people are going to probably get it. But if you don't get the vaccine, that's your choice. That's your right. As an American, you don't want to get the vaccine, that's fine. So I don't know why they're up his ass about that. I mean, well, to a degree I do, because the event that he went to required that he had the vaccine.
And not only that, like a lot of NBA players are starting to get vaccinated. So they want to know, so they want to know, like, I know Dennis Schroeder, I think recently got vaccinated, I believe. So like I think they want to know if he did it as well, considering the fact that it seems like the NBA is moving towards that direction of vaccinations.
Right. Yeah. And the whole family thing, like, yeah, like honestly, like that's, he doesn't want anybody knowing his business. I get that part. I'm like that too. Like I don't like to talk a lot about like some things that I take personally, because it's like not everybody has to know about it. So I do get that part. As for the fine, no shame on the NBA. It just shows a lot of biases and favoritism. But again, that's really the best I can say about it. So with that being said, best of luck to LeBron James. I'm not going to hold this against him. I just hope he can learn from this, and I do wish him the best of luck. Same deal with the Lakers. I wish them the best of luck. We'll just see what happens going from here.